Hi guys, it's Sam from Barracudas. I know we're all disappointed that we can't get out to camp this week, but I'm going to show you a few different football skills that you can do just in your back garden, just any space that you have available with as little equipment as possible. So for this first drill, I'm just going to be using a football. What we'll do first is we're going to look at some kick-ups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the ball in my hands. I'm just going to throw the ball up in the air, let it bounce once, and I'm going to try and kick that ball back into my hands. So I'm going to be using the front of my foot, just where my laces are, and I'll give you a quick demonstration. I'm right-footed, so I'm going to start with my right foot. So I'm going to let the ball bounce, just kick it up, and catch it there. So we're going to start again, let it bounce, kick it up, catch it there. You can see, just kicking it just above my head at the moment, just getting control of the ball, just getting a nice feel for it. As you get more confident, you might be really good with your right foot. You might want to try it out with your left foot as well. So I'm going to let the ball bounce, using my left foot. Same again, just on my laces, just kicking the ball back up above my head and into my hands. I want you to see how many of those you can do without dropping the ball. So I reckon I can do about 6 of those. So see if you can challenge my score of 6 of those. If you want to develop that skill a bit, at the moment we're kicking the ball above my head so I can catch it, but if I want to continually do kick-ups, I'm not going to be able to do it if the ball's bouncing really high, because it's going to be really difficult to control. So how we're going to develop that is we're going to use smaller touches, and we're going to try and keep the ball above head height, just around my chest area. So you can see just a little touch back into my hands there, and it's much more controlled, and I'm using both feet. Same again, just using the front of my foot, the laces, and back into my hands. Have a go at that, guys, see how many you can put together. If you want to develop that skill a bit further, what we can do is we can throw the ball up a bit higher, and we can use our thigh. So we're using just this big area here between our knee and our hip. That's a big cushioned area, so we can get a good touch, and that can set us off for a few more kick-ups. Alright, once you've mastered that, once you've had a go with both your right foot, your left foot, and both of your thighs, we can try and eradicate our hands, take our hands out of this, and we're going to try and continually do kick-ups just with a bounce between us kicking the ball. So I'm going to throw the ball up, using my right foot and my left foot, keeping the ball high, and now I'm going low, just keeping it nice and controlled, close to my body, using both feet. Alright. If we want to push that even further, guys, we're going to try and take the bounce completely out of it, and we're going to just keep the ball up just using our feet. So we're going to have no bounce in between. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm right footed, I'm just going to start with my right foot. So I'm going to feed the ball up, just having a go. As you can see, trying to keep it above, below head height. If I kick it high up in the air like this, the ball's going to end up in the bushes, and I'm not going to be able to keep it under control. We'll have a go. We're going to use our left foot as well. You can see I'm not as good with my left foot, so I only got 4 with my weaker foot. See how many you guys can get using just your left foot, just your right foot, and then we'll have a go at both, and we'll progress it, and we'll start using different body parts as well. So we're going to have a go with both feet now. As you can see, I'm a bit more versatile now because I've got the ball at both sides. I can access the ball and keep it under control. I can also use my thighs if I need to, and both feet. Have a go at that, guys. Comment below, see how many kick-ups you can do consecutively. If you need to use a bounce, use a bounce. If you need to use your hands as well. Okay, guys. The second drill we're going to be doing today is we're going to be focusing on some dribbling. So last time we had the ball up in the air and it was bouncing around. This time the ball's going to be on the floor, and we're going to be trying to keep it close to our feet and keep it under our control, but whilst the ball's on the ground. So the first thing we're going to do to start with is we're just going to be using the inside of our foot, and we're just going to be knocking it from right foot to left foot, stopping it, and then from left foot to right foot and back. So I'm just using the inside of my foot, and I'm stopping it, and then the inside of my foot and stopping it. So I'm getting a good feel for the ball on both sides. As we get more confident with that, as we get a better feel for the ball, what we can do is we can take out the touch that we're having on each side, and we can just try and keep it one touch each side on our toes, and just keep the ball under our control, getting a good touch from both feet. So I reckon I can do that for about 15 seconds without losing the ball. See how many you can go for. That was just focusing on using the inside of our foot, which is a very good skill to have in football. But what we want to do is try and be as versatile as possible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use the bottom of our foot, the sole of our foot, and we're going to do a foot roll. So I'm just going to use my right foot to start with, and I'm going to drag the ball with my right foot and stop it with my left. So you can see here I'm starting with my foot on the floor, it rolls over the ball, and I just stop it with my left foot. I can go again with my left foot, roll over the ball, stop it with my right. So I'm just rolling it and stopping it, keeping it close to my body, keeping it under my control. So now we've used the inside of our foot and we've used the bottom of our foot. Now we're going to use the outside. So we're going to start with the ball with the ball on one side of us. So it's on my outside, it's on my right foot. I'm going to be using the outside of my right foot just to knock it out wide, have a touch, and then my left foot out of my feet, away from my body, but keeping it close enough so that I've got it under my control. So it's away, but I can put my foot on it and stop it there. All right. So now we've got the inside of our feet, we've got the outside of our feet, and we've got the foot roll. So we're very versatile in how we can move. We can use all different areas of our feet, and we're sort of moving left and right. To develop this even further, we can use the foot roll technique again, but we can come backwards. So starting with our right foot, using our left foot. So we can move in all different directions using different areas of our feet. This is really key in dribbling, because when we're trying to avoid defenders, we want to be able to move in different directions. So what I've done here is I'm going to use another ball, and this ball is going to be my defender. You can use anything you can find in your garden. I've got some old Wellington boots here. Could put one of those there and that could be my defender. For the sake of this, I'm going to use the ball. If you have a go at this at home, make sure you ask your parents if you're allowed to use whatever you're going to use as your defender. So all I'm going to do, guys, simply is I'm going to start with the ball on one side, and I'm going to shift the ball around the defender, come back and shift it to the other side. So I'm starting with the ball to the left, and I'm on the right. So just a few touches, using the drag back, using the outside of our feet, using the foot roll, inside of our feet, and stop. So I'm just shifting it either side of the defender, making sure to use the different skills that we've been practicing and I've just introduced. All right, once we've done that, we can then develop this drill by doing it whilst we're running, whilst we're moving forward. So as you can see, I've laid out some obstacles here. These are my defenders. You can see I've got my Wellington boots and I've got my football, just anything you can find in the garden. To start with, I'm right-footed, as I said earlier, so I'm just going to be using the inside and outside of my right foot. Just to keep the ball close to me and go in between my obstacles. As you get better, you can have a go with your weaker foot, so with my left foot. We're trying to use both the inside and the outside of our right and left feet. As you improve even further, we can start to introduce foot rolls. So I'm very versatile in getting in between my opposition and my obstacles. Have a go. What you can do is you can make these cones really close together, or these obstacles really close together, which is going to make it more tricky. So I'm going to have more touches, trying to keep the ball close to my feet to get around them. What you can also do is spread them right out, which means you can do it at a much faster pace. So you can be running as fast as you can, still trying to keep the ball under your control and dribbling. What I want you to do, guys, is have a go at this. Mark out your own little area and see how quickly you can run it. So you can time yourself. I'm going to give myself a quick go now. So we'll see how quickly I can do it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to come back. 7, 8, 9, 10. So I was able to do 4 obstacles in 10 seconds. See how quickly you can do it. Make sure you get a picture of yourself doing it, and let us know how you get on. Okay, so skill number 3, what we're going to try and do is incorporate a bit of skill number 1 and skill number 2, so that we're sort of developing and we're showing how we can use those skills in a game situation or in a drill situation. So this one we're going to be looking at our first touch. So this is how we keep the ball under control and get it on the ground when the ball's up in the air or when the ball's been bouncing. So to start with, we're going to be looking at a pretty similar skill to what we were doing with the kick-ups. Remember how we started and we were kicking the ball high above our head, and then we were taking it down a bit and we were just having a more delicate touch. We're going to do exactly that, but we're going to go even more delicate, because the objective of this is to get the ball stopped dead at our feet. So we're going to start by throwing the ball up, letting it bounce. Oh, we're going to have a delicate touch just so it's under our feet. That one got away from me a bit. So we'll have it down and a delicate touch so it's at my feet. Alright, we're going to try that with both feet. So I've taken the sting out of the ball, just using the laces again, and so that the ball's under my control, and then I'm able to move away with it. I can dribble, I can go in whichever direction, because we learnt that earlier. So again, letting it bounce, little touch out of my feet. As we get better, we can start to use different body parts, so we can use our thighs like we were doing earlier, so the ball can go up a bit higher, and I'm just killing it. Might also have another touch with my foot just to make sure that it's under my control and close to my body. You can also use your chest. This is a little bit difficult to do on your own, so it's just a throw up, and we're using the big part of our chest area. That's more of a skill that you would use when the ball's coming towards you than when the ball's coming straight up. So as we develop that, we can start again, take out the bounce, so we can try and get our first touch straight from the ball dropping in like a game-like situation. So the ball's coming up, and I'm just having a delicate touch and trying to keep it close to my feet. So similar skill to the kick up, using the top of my foot. I tend to use like my toe area a little bit more. Be careful that you don't just poke it away, you're just trying to kill the bounce and get it there at your feet. So again, up in the air, delicate touch, straight into my feet. Start with a lower throw to begin with, because that's going to make it easier for you. As you get more skilled, you can start to throw it a little bit higher. If you want to make this into a skill, sort of drill and challenge yourselves, what you can do is mark yourself out a little area. So what I've done here, again, I've used my Wellington boots and my football. So I've got an area, and I'm going to try and control the ball so that the ball stays within my square. So I'm not going to have any wonky touches that go over here. I'm going to try and keep it close to my body, and these are going to be like my defenders. So I'm keeping the ball away from my defender. So the ball's up in the air, and I've killed it, and I'm away from the defender. So the ball's dead at my feet. And again, and it's away. This time, we're going to incorporate the skills that we were doing earlier, so quite similar to the kick-ups drill, but then also the dribbling. We're going to have the ball go up in the air, we're going to kill it, and we're going to be away. Remember, using the different skills that we used earlier, and I can dribble around my defender. Again, ball goes up, I've got it under my control, using both feet, and I'm away around the defender. You can try and do it, have a touch and beat one defender, 2, 3, 4, and see how quickly you can do it. See if you can do it consistently, keeping the ball under your control without losing the ball outside the square. If you need to use a bounce, that's absolutely fine. So you've got your touch and you can get around your defender. Back in the area, have a go at that, guys. Okay, so we've looked at 3 different skills today. We've looked at our kick-ups to start with. We've done a bit of dribbling and introduced different skills in dribbling. And we've also looked at our first touch and how we can bring the ball down and incorporate that into our dribbling as well. I hope you've all learned something today, guys. Make sure you have a practice of these in the garden. Make sure you're safe when you're doing it. And if you can, take some pictures and let us know how you got on. Please do so. We'd love to see some.